once again from Mahindra University School of Law. I'm Rishi Bhardwaj, Assistant Professor, working in School of Law, and let me all welcome you formally for this great poignant session for B.Tech LL.B, the crossroads of law and technology. So to begin with, I would simply say that Mahindra itself is a name bigger than any of the corporate legacies which we are existing today in India. It has existed for more than 8 decades. It's very impressive for a company to stand so long. And just like a tree, it keeps on growing. So presently we are having $34 billion, approximately the market net worth, which is having its reach in 100 countries with 350,000 employees throughout the world engaged into different operations. So they are typically in automobile, technology, and other sectors too. I would simply say that Mahindra University in itself is a subsidiary of Tech Mahindra, which itself is around a $7 billion company. And it works under the edges of Tech Mahindra. Mahindra University itself has started its journey in 2014 with a tri-party agreement with École Centrale of France and JNTU, that is Jawaharlal Nehru Technical University at Hyderabad, with a small cohort of 240 candidates in engineering. Slowly, it started growing up. And finally, in 2020, we got an autonomous independent body status after approval from UGC. Then in 2021, with the launch of many different branches in management like School of Management, School of Law also started its journey after getting a formal confirmation from Bar Council of India. We began the School of Law with the 2 programs of 5-year duration, that is B.LL.B and B.B.LL.B, looking for a multidisciplinary approach. The market really accepted it well. And 2022, we also launched LL.B 3-year program for those who could not get the first pass. Finally, in 2024, we had to increase the number of seats, and it's 2 sections now. And I should say that under the great guidance of our team, we are 370 students strong presently running for. And we are having great plans for the future, specifically 2024, when we are about to launch LLM, PhD along the way in the coming semester. And this particular session typically targets for the B.Tech LL.B 6-year integrated program, so that we don't have to consume that completely B.Tech 4 and LL.B 3 years. It's an integrated program, so that is why N-1 formula applies, and it is reduced to 6 years. Now, we are still in the pipeline for getting the final consent from the Bar Council of India, but keeping fingers crossed, we presume that by the time it comes, the session would be commencing in August this year. So I would like to introduce my panelists for the day, for the session, that why this particular course, B.Tech LL.B, is making waves throughout the country. I have my dean, Dr. V. Balakrishna Reddy. I would like to read a small brief profile of him, that he has served as a professor of international law and also held various leadership positions at Nalsa University of Law at Hyderabad. Needless to say that his legacy precedes before him. He has chaired the directorship of the Center for Aerospace and Defense Law and Center for Tribal and Land Rights. He was also the LLM course coordinator for the International Trade and Business Law at NALSA. And notably, he was the former Vice Chancellor and Registrar of the NALSA University of Law with an impressive 8+ years of experience in that position. Now, after joining Mahindra University, because if I keep on going, it's a more than 2 decades of journey sir has covered into that with Nalsa University. He has graced Mahindra University for starting new initiations, and typically after joining immediately here, he joined as a Dean School of Law last August. And since then, he has repeatedly going on for pushing more grace in a multidisciplinary and interdisciplinary manner with the law. He has also organized 3 mega events named as a pre-conference workshop and data conference, Governance and Age of Artificial Intelligence, and a 3-day International Law and Technology Conference on Revolutionary Technologies and Evolutionary Laws, Challenges and Opportunities. And of course, the first Mahindra University International Moot Court Competition from 29th Feb to 3rd March 2024. We wholeheartedly welcome you here, sir. And I would also welcome my colleague and a good friend, Professor Harsh Mahaset, who is an assistant professor serving in Jindal Group in Sonipat. And now this session is typically starting that how that multidisciplinary is becoming the norm of the day. Gone are the days when we were having only specialists that I would like to quote from a movie, Munna Bhai MBBS, that हाथ के डॉक्टर को ये नहीं मालूम है कि पैर में क्या हुआ है और पैर के डॉक्टर को ये नहीं मालूम है कि हाथ में क्या हुआ. But point is that when we are going for multidisciplinary approach, we have to create a kind of synergy, we have to create a kind of symphony. That law is a kind of bigger umbrella, which is including all the things which are included in the society and economy. So, as Dr. Balakistan sir always says, that he has actually coined this term of A to Z of the new emerging technologies, like A for artificial intelligence, B for blockchain, C for cryptocurrency, D for data science, and I can go on till Z. However, I also understand that in a small session of 1 hour, this will be quite a difficult task to put every letter of 26 alphabets into one session. However, we shall just keep on going for one alphabet to another. Let's say we start with artificial intelligence, and I shall be putting and circulating this session to my colleague Harsh as well as my Dean, Dr. B. Balakistan Reddy, that we can pinpoint that how law is emerging into. So as we all know that AI doesn't, whether we believe it or not, whether we include it or not, we have become a part of an artificial intelligence entities as well as systems. You call about the banks, you call about the air traffics, you call about the space, everywhere AI softwares have been in use. And everybody has a plan till they are not hit. So I would like to put a small opinion seeking for from my dean that, sir, how this technology and law cross interface is emerging, typically in the field of AI, and especially when we are launching this B.Tech LL.B course, that how the law and technology would be merging and complementing each other so that we will have better citizens for tomorrow who are not typically just a law side or a technology side specialist. They would be having the edges of and the best of both the worlds. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Rishi, for your introduction and also about the law technology. I always say that law follows technology, or technological developments necessitate the legal regulation. So, for instance, Wright brothers invented aircraft. The moment they invented aircraft has a cross border in nature. When how to fly, how to regulate, whether other countries will receive them like that, or any technology, space. For instance, today we talk a lot on the space technology. Okay, space also on 4th October 1957, this Sputnik one was launched successfully. After that, today you see when we are talking about technology, the kind of developments which are happening in any field. But I'm giving an example of space technology is Neil Armstrong, people like landing on moon and the other celestial bodies. And today we talk about buying, selling flats in outer space and so on. So what I mean to say that with all these developments today, we as a humanity has entered a new era of solving the problems of using space technology. I'm giving an example, but this applicable to almost all technologies. So that is the kind of dependency we have on technology. If 1 minute, satellite won't work, our program will, stop. So that is where, the law and technology. But unfortunately, the technology is happening in a faster manner. The technology, that's what we call revolutionary technology. Today one technology, tomorrow one technology, like it is in fast changing nature. But unfortunately law is not catching up. So we as a legal fraternity, lawyers, we take, once the issue comes, when problem comes, then we will ship into that. That is where today society is confronting with a lot of challenges posed by the technologies. What you referred, like net technologies. What is that net? New and emerging technologies all are what you referred. Yeah, it is true. I call them as a to Z technologies. Anything, whether artificial intelligence, automation, to by big data, to Bitcoin technology, to cryptocurrency, to drone. I can go on, like citing. But today, Rishi, what is all these technologies? One is two aspects we have to look. Technologies are giving a comfortable life, positive side of technology, indispensable for the humanity. Okay, but we as a legal fraternity, we have to look at other side. Today, whether you referred artificial, but I want to put broadly other technologies also. So today all these technologies are posing a legal challenge, governance challenge, regulatory challenges, like entire today. Earlier we used to talk about state sovereignty, state jurisdiction, state responsibility, okay, privacy, security. But today, our really state means countries. Our states are sovereign. Do they have a jurisdiction over individuals? For example, people sitting here and doing some activity. I mean to say that cyber and other related things, all these today posing a challenge to the humanity. Actually, that is where I feel that now it is a time for lawyers to come forward to help the technologies have to come, and like what you referred as a multidisciplinary approach. That is where I mean. So keeping this in view, we are proposing that B.Tech LL.B. Two reasons. One is to save 1 year instead of 4 plus 3 7 years. We can do that 6 years. Other one, today we need hundreds and not hundreds, thousands of technocrats who have to have a legal knowledge, okay, regulatory knowledge. That is where the idea of having proposed this course. Of course, you rightly said it is in the bar council. We are working on that, but idea is to take up to help the technocrats to take this course. And second reason, Rishi, you all know that you are part of this. Most of our LLB 3 year LLB honors course, people are who are joining 80% or 90% from B.Tech background. So that was the other reason for Mahindra to look into that. Why not we help the B.Tech students, that. So these are all some of the things which I think we can ponder over this session. So again, I'll back to you. So
Hmm.
this is my
I
introductory remarks. Okay.
Thank you, sir. I truly agree that Mahindra being a tech giant, and that
Mm,
is why the last when 2022 batch and 2023 batch of LLB started, we had a major portion of the people who joined the 3 year LLB program are from the B.Tech background.
mm,
And let me also share that this year in 2024, we are having one candidate who is already an MBBS and MD. And she is MBBS from Karnataka University, and she wants to do and pursue law. I typically had a trace of my mind that how she's switching the dimensions completely from medicine to law. So she
mm,
said that these are the turning times, and if we are not ready,
mm,
that ignorance of law will not be an excuse. So I would like to chip in and invite Harsh also. That Harsh, tell me just as a friend as well as a concerned person, that do we actually need this? Emerging technologies means I have seen people are running from the urban area back to the original sustainability. And they say we do not need the technologies. The more we get into, the more polluted we are mentally, physically, as well as environmentally. So, can we find some solution where the law stands for sustainability? Or this technology can be put into some places that we all already know that technology is always running ahead, like a game of a policeman and a thief. The technology is very fast in cyber law, we know that. But technology is very fast and the law is very slow to pursue, and it has only one option that we have to pursue. So we are always waiting for a tragedy to strike first, that first there is a nuclear weapon and then we make the non-nuclear test treaty. First there is COVID and then we make a kind of treaty, no such kind of bioweapons will not be allowed. So would it not be right that law should be a proactive one now rather than following a reactive approach? Your take, Harsh.
Thank you so much, Rishi. So, as Professor Balagista also spoke about this, that law and technology are two separate aspects, and law is always falling behind this. And if we think that technology is not part of our lives, we have to look at what all areas technology has already affected in our lives, not just technology, but also artificial intelligence. From the use of our mobile phones to actually even artificial intelligence, if we go to the A of the A to Z, we see that we already are using voice assistants, image recognition, face unlocks, and that's just one aspect of it. There are many such aspects. And I honestly do believe that it's not only in our day-to-day lives, but even in the law, legal field. Um, the Supreme Court has started using artificial intelligence. We ourselves, when we conduct research, to a certain extent, we see the use of certain AI models as well. Clear example, which I think all the students would also understand, would be ChatGPT, which is LLM, in which I do think that it is to a certain extent used for research as well, basic level research. However, I think that to combine both of these and make a more interdisciplinary approach would be more beneficial for all of us, as we see that to give the example of ChatGPT itself, the creation of ChatGPT is something that lawyers can't do. It's not something that we'd be able to do at all, because for that, you need to have the required technical knowledge. While after that, the conducting of research that we do for our field, that is something that we in the law aspect would have. Now, having a program like the B.Tech LB, as both of you were mentioning, I feel like kind of merges both of these together, where you would not only have the required technical knowledge to actually even further these type of models, but also then have the legal knowledge required, as you were mentioning, a student as well, that it is very important to have this legal knowledge at this point in time. Now, coming back to the question of the law falling behind, until now, I think generally we have seen law being more reactionary in nature. However, I feel like over the past few months that I've been over here, we are trying to find a way where the law does not lag behind technology. And I think that is the aspect in which Mahindra has been organizing all of these conferences, workshops, where we're trying to find a way that the law can reach on par with technology. And I feel like one very crucial aspect for this is having a program like a B.Tech LLB, where not only would you have that legal knowledge, but also the technical knowledge would also help in that aspect. I hope that answers the question to some extent.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing your thoughts, Harsh. I would like to underline once again that this session is typically about crossroads of law and technology, and we are making a kind of common session for that, how the concepts of law and technologies are standing on a kind of confusion that should we go for a B.Tech LLB, or would this particular course be a kind of revolutionary for us that you may find your profession. Let me underline that not for the sake of marketing the product or program, I would simply say that whenever you purchase a small mobile, a pen, a calculator, let it be a bigger machine, there is always a user manual with it. Who do you think writes that user manual? They are the people who are actually having a technical expertise in that particular product, and also as a legal expertise. Because if tomorrow the product or any of the services just backfire, you have the lawyer standing as a devil's advocate, and devil lies in detail. Generally, nobody reads the user manual. But while you are serving as a corporate lawyer or serving as a production house like Mahindra, you have to be prepared not when the calamity strikes. You have to be proactive that if the calamity strike, what would be my plan B? What would be my plan C? And there the image of law comes. I would like to invite our deans, Dr. V. Balakrishnam Reddy's comment. Over to you, sir.
Yes, Rishi, you are right. Today, the questions like what you said, do machines have a morality? What kind of liability issues we are going to, put? What kind of the legal regime is available? This kind of, what about the ethical guidelines? All these are all pondering to the, use of technology, right? Using the manuals. You again, we discussed ignorance of law is no excuse. You can't say that I don't know, so I'm violating, this kind. Today, this kind of challenges which technology is posing, and those who are using these technologies, we should ask ourselves this kind of question: ethical, moral, legal, liability issues, all are going to present in any mission, whether it's a mobile to like a all. So those are all, I think I'm just raising these issues for sake of our discussion, but these kind of issues which are already confronting with the use of technology. So that is what I just want to chip in.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your thoughts. I just had a conference in Delhi, and I was just amazed to see that a simple smartphone we call as a smart. My only question to all the audiences here, we call something as a smartphone because it keeps on upgrading its software on a weekly basis. Now, when we are thinking about the programs and technologies, we need to ask ourselves, when was the last time we actually upgraded our knowledge? Now the question comes, even a small phone of any smart variation from Apple to Samsung, whichever you say, on an average, it does have around 4,000 plus patent rights, including other IPR rights too. Now you can imagine that we just use the mobile for the sake that, okay, I'm having a smart mobile, it helps me just do my operations competitively faster. But point is, companies pay a very heavy price. I'm just discussing this case of a smartwatch of Apple, and Apple had to pay around $17 billion of a fine to another firm for which it was supposed not to use those particular patent rights. Many of you might even be thinking about it, sir, that if it is going to be a B.Tech LL.B, would it be in mechanical, would it be in civil, electrical, or a computer science or IT and AI and robotics and so on? So let me brief you one thing. Doesn't matter whether it is technical in any dimensions we are taking. One thing is for sure that it would be run by a software. And that is why this particular B.Tech LL.B program, we are typically focusing on CSE, that is Computer and Science Engineering, along with its interface with law. So, irrespective whichever industry you are joining, you need not be an expert of an automobile engine or Ferrari, but you know how to drive a car, so you'll be using it. The question of law would come only if you break the law somewhere in between, you are over speeding, you hit somebody, or you go into a one-way traffic, or maybe you have some default function of any machinery. And then you will realize that who the lawyer is. Many a time we even ask ourselves, why do I need a doctor? I can do the things. But you'll come to realize that even you go to a doctor, he sends you for some prescriptions, tests, and etc. But if you can do those things primarily at home, and I'm not suggesting by this manner that everybody wishes to be a Google doctor, because we are never knowing that whether these prescriptions are given just as a knowledge or they are given as a professional expertise. So we need to be careful that the information is rising at a very exponential rate, and today the liabilities of the companies are very high. Self-prescription or self-medication are completely not advisable. And here comes the question, more responsible nature of a B.Tech lawyer, somebody who is expert in technology, and he or she is also an expert in law. Of course, we'll be providing many honor and expertise courses for which you may choose from a bucket of questions that how, like we are having a drone technology, we are having aerospace technologies, we are having blockchain, cryptos, and so on. Let me give you a small, just a tip of the iceberg that as per the last report written by Raghuram Rajan, our ex-RBI governor, 6,000 plus cryptocurrencies are existing around the world. And many of the transactions nowadays are running through crypto assets or currency. And it is a kind of yaksha prashna or critical question. I won't say $1 million, rather I should say $1 trillion question, that how we are going to accommodate a currency like cryptocurrency. Last year on 1st of November, India declared its digital currency, but we are still reluctant to put into. I would like to invite your comment on this, sir, that if by somehow that cryptocurrency is allowed into the country, how would it affect the economy and what would be the role of the lawyers to pitch into? Because we already know that a currency has to be sanctioned by RBI, and the lacuna of a cryptocurrency is that we are never having authority of the central bank. So none of the cryptocurrency at present is authorized by any of the country. But in case if it is given and is still being used, it is totally in the dark, and most of the time it is used for illegal purposes. Your take, sir, on this one, if you would like to comment. Harsh, please chip in anytime you want to, because this is not a question answer session. This is merely discussion, open house discussion.
So, talking of cryptocurrency, I think that if cryptocurrency becomes widely adopted in India, then lawyers play a crucial role in navigating this complex legal landscape surrounding its use. I think that they would be essential in ensuring compliance with regulatory frameworks, advising on the legal implications of such cryptocurrency transactions, and also helping clients understand and adhere to such anti-money laundering and KYC regulations. So lawyers would also be involved in drafting and reviewing contracts involving cryptocurrency, handling disputes related to cryptocurrency fraud or theft, and representing clients in litigations. That means going to courts concerning such cryptocurrency issues. So they would be providing, I think that not only is it related to going to courts, but lawyers would also be needed to provide guidance on tax obligations that would arise from such cryptocurrency transactions and investments as well. Maybe also ensuring individuals and businesses are also compliant with these tax laws. So overall, if you look at this, lawyers would play a pivotal role in facilitating this safe and legal integration of cryptocurrency into India's financial as well as legal system. I feel like it is a huge part of this.
Yes, I indeed agree with every word you said, Harsh. that indeed it is a very good asset, but despite that, it is a very great liability for normal citizen, and typically it comes as a great issue of concern for the lawyers, because unless and until they are not knowing the technology, they will not be able to resolve it. I'm just sharing a small incident like DigiYatra. For those of you who might have traveled through air, that DigiYatra platform gives you a kind of face recognition system, and you don't have to show your any other Aadhaar or PAN card once your data has been uploaded into the system. China, as a matter of policy, it mandates that part that everybody who is flying by air has to put the face recognition system so that they know which person is flying, which time, which place to which place. But when you are putting in a country like India, which is still struggling in the scenario of haves and have-nots, that first of all, that plane travel itself is a very crucial luxury part. And second, understanding the DigiYatra. I have had my burn of fingers when I downloaded the DigiYatra ad, and despite my all attempts, I was not able to use it 3 or 4 times during my flights. So finally, I asked one of the person that, what is, am I lacking something because I'm not a software engineer or something is wrong? So the answer that lady replied that, sir, on your airport, you have to use the airport Wi-Fi. And if you are using the airport Wi-Fi, the connection would be faster. You cannot use your own. So I said, okay, this might be a network issue. But my question is, if I want to use DigiYatra, you want to save some time, they have their prerogative that you have to use the Wi-Fi. I used the airport Wi-Fi, but then I had a second thought. What if my personal data has also been shared? So the
Right.
question of privacy comes into between, that every time we are using a public network system for the sake of their priority and even our own face too. And I'm not speaking of the places like we go for covered mask and etc. None of us is an Iron Man here, and we all have an open liberty. But point is, the data, once it is lost forever, and no data dies. So European Union, when India has launched the DPDP Act, the privacy of each one is at stake. It's just standing in the public and social platform like as good as no clothes at all. So I would like to invite my dean's comment on that. So that what is the gravity of data and data privacy laws in Indian context and a global context?
Of course, yeah, you're right. This data privacy, data protection, started with Kuthuswamy case of 2017, and then, appointing a panel of experts, and they did lot of work. And of course, we came out with the draft bill. Okay, all, and finally, you're right. DPDP 2023 is there, but taking clue from GDPR regulations. And Rishi, if you not only India, but the recently we organized a conference where first AI Act, the global European Union came out with AI Act. That is the first kind, and the person who was part of this AI Act, he shared his views with our students online. You know that. So what I mean to say that these are all technologies emerging, and we have to do a lot of customization. When you say that DigiYatra or facial recognition or data privacy, data protection, all these are all again challenges which we are all going to confront. This is what and that is where the role of technocrats comes. It is not that only lawyer, like other area you touched and we didn't elaborate. It is a lot of IP protection. Whatever the activity you do, intellectual property is going to be the major thing. And mostly if you look at developing countries, we do a lot of intellectual creativity, but we don't protect. And today we are living in a globalized world. You all know that we know WTO, TRIPS agreement, international treaties, until unless we don't protect, then somebody will take, and we have had cases, whether it's a Basmati, Tasmati, Neem, all. So today, what I mean to say that this is the kind of lawyers and also technocrats, is the synergy has to be there, and many issues, whether it's a data protection, data privacy, like intellectual property, all are issues which I have to go, in the combination with the technocrats, lawyers, and that is my view on these emerging challenges or technologies.
Thank you, sir. I totally agree with your concerns. I would like to also now divert the session towards that how robotics is being used in technology. Many of us might even wonder about it, that we are not actually using the robots. We ourselves have become a robot. This mobile one or two in our set, it's become like our second soul. हमारी दूसरी आत्मा बन चुकी है. The moment we are not having mobile with us, we feel unsafe. We feel insecure about it, that where is my mobile, a lot of data into it. Now, when we discuss about the autonomous cars, we discuss about the drones which are being put up. The technology had been damn good. It has been serving a lot of places where human cannot reach, vertical takeoff and landing and other things. But certainly these robots are doing. And in many of the cities of US as well as in Canada, the autonomous vehicles are driving. Even in an aeroplane, we are having an autopilot mode. It takes off and land, do its own, certainly with very great concern. But the question comes, doesn't matter, it is a small robotic surgery, a doctor doing that from thousands of kilometers away as a kind of telesurgery. And even in a labor-intensive country like India, we are imagining an autonomous car someday down the lane. We might even be having some accidents down the lane. The real question comes, where do we put the liability? Who would be paying for the accidents? So here comes that tomorrow, if my grinder is not working or some short circuit is there, we immediately file a case against the company. Then company does not give it to the inventor because the right has been taken up by the company. But now in case when multiple patents are being used by one system, as I just described, that a simple smart mobile is having around 4,000 plus patents, IPRs included into it. If one of the feature misfire, which particular copyright owner we have to file a case? That also again is a Yaksha Prashna for the day, because it's a 9 billion population we are marching upon, and 9 billion people on an average, even 50% of them are using internet and other technologies. The liability becomes a crucial concern. I would like to invite your Harsh and of course my dean, that what could be the safeguards which we can keep, that by keeping ourselves aware about the technology. Like every time we download a software, nobody generally reads the detailed version. Just we keep on saying, yes, I agree, and we start using the thing without even knowing that a simple app which should know only one particular GPS takes an information where we are standing, access to our photograph, access to our calls, access to make other functions which we are not willing to share. So what could be the safeguards? What precautions we can take as a general person? Because those who have joined the session down the lane, when they join the B.Tech LL.B course, they would be advising their client. And this would be a kind of protocol that we need to be aware before we enter into the hot waters. Any take from any of you? I would like to invite.
Of course, when it comes to liability, there are multi-stakeholders are involved here. Okay, your example, if you look at whether it goes strict liability or absolute liability or individual liability or joint liability, because these are all, issues comes, like I was talking about, do machines have liability? If that is, whom should we can go and where to file, it is slightly, maybe, one is we have to take precaution, that is, but some areas, all these technologies posing is, legal uncertainty. Where to go, whom to approach, what kind of liability, all these are all again, unanswered questions. Maybe time will decide certain things. So that's my take. That is where the role of all of us have to come into this.
Harsh, you take.
Yeah, before I move to robotics and law, I just thought that maybe it'll benefit our participants over here, the students, I mean, attendees, by just maybe explaining IPR first, because I feel like I'm not sure whether they would even know what intellectual property rights are. So just to give a basic understanding of what intellectual property rights, IPR is, it's like owning a special idea or creation you come up with, just like you own your phone or bike. So these rights protect things you invent, create, write, such as books, songs, computer programs, or even unique inventions. So if you come up with a new app or write a novel, IPR ensures that you have control over who can use, copy, or even sell your work. So it encourages people to be creative and innovative because they know their ideas are protected and they can benefit from their hard work that they've put in. Now, coming to robotics and law, I feel that robotics is revolutionizing technology by automating tasks across all of the industries. As you have rightly mentioned, Rishi, there are many areas that this is being used, such as even in healthcare to agriculture and even service sectors. Robots perform precise, repetitive tasks with very high efficiency, such as whatever surgical procedures and even crop monitoring, to significantly even enhancing productivity and accuracy. However, as you as well as Dean Sir mentioned, the integration of robotics into daily life brings forth numerous legal challenges. The role of law is critical in establishing regulations that ensure safety, accountability, and ethical use of robotic technology. And this includes creating standards for safe design as well as deployment of robots, addressing the liability, as you clearly have mentioned, in case of malfunctions, who is to be held liable in such cases, to protecting data privacy, as robots often do collect sensitive information. So legal frameworks also need to adapt to manage the impact on employment and address these ethical concerns around it. And coming to safeguards for integrating robotics within legal frameworks, I think there are a couple of key measures that can be taken, and this is not only regulatory measures. By regulatory measures, what I mean is having a legal framework, having compliance and enforcement and data protection. But apart from that, we also have technical standards such as safety standards, security measures. And I think over here we can see that interdisciplinary nature that we were talking about, and how a B.Tech LL.B, to just to give an example, is a really great program that combines both of these. Because not only would you have the knowledge on the regulatory measures, but you would also have that knowledge on the technical standards over there, something that maybe we would not have if we do certain other programs. However, the B.Tech LLB and having that specific technical knowledge would help us understand the safety standards, the security measures, and also these operational guidelines. I think I deviated a bit from the question, but hopefully that.
I truly agree and
You
appreciate
covered.
it.
I think, Rishi, we can take some questions from participants if
Indeed.
they are there.
I would certainly entertain that. And just reminding the audiences once again that any question you have on art regarding the crossroads of law and technology, please pitch in. You can put your questions into the chat box. I'm just sharing a small summary of that, how that my LL.B batches of 2022 and 23, and including 2023 aspirants for law. Just a one question, those who are coming from non-law background and they are pursuing law. Like I said, one girl from MBBS is about to join the law 3-year LL.B program, and around 60 to 80% of the people who already have a B.Tech degree, they are joining LL.B program. So in an interview session, I simply asked them that why didn't you join the LL.B program in the first place immediately after completing your 12th? You already had a B.Tech. The simple answer was to them, sir, no such course was available at our time. So I would simply say that Mahindra is taking this pioneer mission to merge technology with law. And down the lane, they shall be having the legal edge of the law as well as technology. So I would simply say that when you are venturing into something bigger, the stakes are also high, not from the organizers, but also from the people who are venturing it out. It's just like you have been given an opportunity to go on the moon, and the expenses are borne by the government. Your life itself is at stake. But point is that if you are truly interested in gathering simply the knowledge, the Google is sufficient. But how would you make an earning down the lane? So if you are interested in technology, then certainly you need to start and getting it by acquiring more knowledge and put into the practice of law. So I'm inviting any questions from your end, Lahari, Ramya, Srinidhi, Shashank, and the last person I can see, I can read all the names, Mr. SVS Yatitharan. Any questions if you have on this B.Tech LL.B program, we are happy to offer our expertise and solutions to that. Please feel free to ask. And at this juncture, let me also introduce my colleague Mohammad Zubair Khan from the Outreach, and he shall be explaining us the details for Outreach joining procedures and protocols. Welcome you, sir.
Yes, sir. I think so. I'm unable to open my video.
Okay, no issues. You can.
Okay,
we can
so,
hear you
so
loud.
I'm audible, right? So
We can hear you
yes, I'll
loud.
brief everybody. So good morning, everybody. Good morning, all the participants that Saturday you have taken your time out to participate. Good morning, Bala sir, Harsh, and Rishi sir, of course. It's a good, and I was listening through all the conversation. I really found it. I think so. Me and Rishi sir were there in one AI responsible AI conference and a few days back, 2 days back. And today again, AI and technology is really, I don't say mind blowing information. These informations are mind boggling. As you said, for having one mobile company need 4,000 copyrights, right? Their permissions and also kind of. Anyway, so just I'll brief everybody about all the candidates about the eligibility criteria for all the courses, whatever we have. So we have 5 years LLB right now. So BA LLB owners and BBA LLB owners. And of course, we are talking about B.Tech LLB owners. So B.Tech LLB owners is still under the consideration of Bar Council of India. We have applied and we are waiting for their approval. Once the approval comes, then we will start going in. However, with these terms and conditions, we have our applications are open and we are accepting the applications. So for admission into any of the 5 years LLB program, you need to have CLAT rank below 10,000 so that you can have direct admissions. If not, then you need to have LSAT score more than 75 percentile. For BA and BBA LLB, there is no subject restrictions. But for B.Tech LLB, you have the subject restrictions of math, physics, and chemistry should be must in your 12th class. Rishi sir, am I right? Yes, so like that.
Indeed.
So this is about admission criteria. What is the admission process for this? Admission process very simple. You have to visit our website, mahindrauniversity.edu.in, and you have to click on apply now. Once you apply, it will open a new page. You have to register, and then you have to start filling the application form, UG application form. Once you fill the application, then we will review your application. We will scrutinize all the things. We'll see all the scores and all. Then our admission team will, once they select your applications, they will process. So they will check your scores, or they will allow you to write our internal test, which is called MULET, Mahindra University Law Entrance Test. And if you qualify in this test, then any students will be eligible for admissions. So once you qualify in the test, then we offer you, when we send you provisional admission offer letter. So provisional admission letter is provisional till the time you produce all the documents mentioned in the admission offer letter. Documents like 10th original, 12th original, mark sheets, migration certificates, your all the ID cards and everything, ID proofs and everything, right? So this is the admission criteria and admission process for 5 years LLB program, which is the BA LLB owners, BBA LLB owners, and B.Tech LLB owners. Now we have the 3 years LLB program, which is for the graduate student. Of course, if any one of you are not in this category, then of course you may have your friends, relatives, or anybody, family members, they can also apply. So 3 years LLB program, basically we take through interview. So once we receive the application, we scrutinize all the things, we verify all the informations, and if we find it correct, satisfactory, then we select the student for interview. If a student is selected for the interview round, we interview them, we set up the panel, and if panel approves in the interview, then that candidate gets selected for admission. And again, we send them the provisional admission letter. And this student pays the amount and then pays the semester fee, and they start getting doing all the formalities of the admissions, right? And this year we are starting LLM and PhD also, right? And everything is mentioned on the website. For PhD already we have done one round. LLM we are going to next round. Anyone of you non-person, of course, you are most welcome. So this is the information on our side. I post my number here. Any doubts related to any queries related to School of Law, you may have related to admissions, you may have related to campus life, you may have related to academics. Maybe you want to meet any of the professors or you want to meet Dean sir. Do contact me. I will try to fix your appointment or try to resolve your query maximum online, or whenever you want to have campus visit, definitely will coordinate for the campus visit, right? So that's all from my side, Rishi sir.
Thank you, Zubair sir. Thanks a lot. And I would really appreciate all the attendees to stay in touch. It doesn't matter whether you are joining Mahindra Group or not, but joining this journey of technology and law would be beneficial for each one of us. I formally thank my Dean, Dr. V. Balakrishna Reddy, for being a resource person for the session. And of course, thanks to Harsh for joining me at such a short notice. Really feel blessed about it. Thank you, Shrinika, for handling the session. And of course, Zubair sir, always in the backup. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Rishi.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you.